What we are doing is a review of evidence as this evidence comes out, and there is a lot of it, as you can imagine, because there's a lot of interest, a lot of activity, obviously, because it's the number one health topic in the world. Part of this has been looking at studies which traced the earliest recognizable isolates of SARS-CoV-2, and most of them come from sewage. These are studies on sewage and wastewater. Now, this is nothing new because public health engineering and water management are part of public health, and it is well known that some agents pass into wastewater having been through toilets, and they get into wastewater and surface water, and they act as some kind of surveillance. So we have a series of studies now which throw up hypotheses because they need to be confirmed. The earliest isolate comes from Barcelona in Spain in March 2019, the 12th of March. Now, this predates the first case of COVID-19 in Barcelona by about 11 months, if these results are confirmed. We have other studies, like for instance from Brazil and from northern Italy, that show a similar but later pattern. We also know that, for instance, in France, there was a case of COVID-19 in late December. Now, this would suggest that the viral spread was far larger earlier than what we thought. And where it originated from, how it adapted, when it adapted, we don't know. Not necessarily this virus, we don't know that, but if the Barcelona results are confirmed, it would certainly suggest that kind of thing. But let me just take you through, for instance, a study that was done in 2012 in 2 kindergartens in Copenhagen, where they tested the surfaces. Things like toys, covers, play tables, and so on. And these were heavily positive for all sorts of respiratory and enteric viruses and microorganisms, which is what you would expect. We live with these. They're all around us. The question then becomes exactly what wakes them up and what makes them aggressive. What conditions makes them aggressive? I'm afraid I don't have an answer to that. What we have is a series of hypotheses, studies, for instance, that looked at the meteorological conditions, ultraviolet, levels of pollution, wind, humidity, and so on. It's possible. You see, the thing is that SARS-CoV-2 was identified at the end of December 2019, and it could have been there before, but of course we wouldn't know because we didn't know about it. And like that, there may be many more. But once you know that it's there, the old saying, "Look and thou shalt find," applies. This thing about originating in China, I am not sure what significance that has. If you look at the last 10 influenza pandemics, some of them were pandemics, some of them may have not been pandemics, and some of them may not even been influenza. There may have been other viruses. People have tried to pinpoint, it comes from Russia, it comes from China, it comes from there, it comes from there. Maybe it comes from nowhere. For instance, the 2009 influenza pandemic, the first case was in Mexico. But I am not sure that pointing to the exact geographic location is very helpful unless we have a clear idea of some particular animal-mankind interaction which happened in a particular situation and could shed light on this situation. It's important to study the ecology of all microorganisms, not just this virus. We need to know a lot more. But if we do understand how it evolves, if we do understand where it lives, or if we do understand most of all how it transmits, how it ignites, what accelerates it, what moves it, then we can intervene. We also have to bear in mind the possibility that we are the culprits, that we have generated this by changing the ecology of our planet.